All right, so increasing consciousness in kind of a real life context. I'm kind of smudging some definitions here.
I know. There you go.
God damn it. Fucking Mac. Fuck. All right. How are people really increasing consciousness? They're taking in real reality, not just seeing what they want to see.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
That sounds simple.
Keeping it real simple, it's like a kid versus an adult. One living in their own world and one forced in the real world.
Okay.
In theory, this is what our objective observer or extroverted observer is supposed to do.
Okay.
Carl Jung explained it so well with extroverted objective and then introverted subjective.
Right. Okay.
One's bullshitty, one's real. In theory.
Right.
But like
SE and NE are in theory objective. Yeah.
In theory, but then they get wrecked because your internal functions and your internal worldview and your internal low conscious just screws it all up anyways.
Yeah, right, totally.
Yeah, all right. So who is the worst of the worst?
Okay.
Anyone who thinks their way is the best way.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically.
They are the worst. Those that think that are the worst.
All IJs.
So here's a good example of someone who thinks that their way is the best
I'm going to go back to the old. Okay. Ready? All right, we're back on track. Wait. There we go. Back on track. And it's spell checked. Who is more conscious? Old people are more conscious because children are idiots.
It's getting glim.
This is for all the kids out there. You suck. And we all talk about you behind your back, about how dumb you are. I'm talking to you, 8-year-olds. Consciousness does improve over time.
Sure, absolutely. The more reality that you can take in. Also, I would say I would also say that some of your bullshit worldviews that get built from, birth or whatever your parents' society start breaking down after a while. So the older you get, you're like, oh, okay, that's not actually true.
Right.
It doesn't hold up in reality.
Right. Reality smashes them down.
Yeah.
The point that I'm trying to kind of get at, like, as I was kind of fake preparing for this,
right,
is just keeping these functions in a very practical way. Like using your extroverted observer to kind of gather in reality, but also seeing the bigger picture that, like, look at people younger than you, like way younger than you, little kids, like, wow, they're very unconscious. Yeah. Look at older people, they're generally more conscious, and realizing kind of what's going on. Like, okay, can I accelerate this process to some degree?
I see, yeah.
Who has helped us become slightly more conscious?
Okay, very cool.
Still debatable.
Absolutely.
Burning through our 20s and 30s trying dumb shit.
Yeah, experience.
If you're younger in your 20s and 30s and you're not out there getting your ass kicked, if you're safe at home, like, you're wasting some valuable years. Go out and get in a fight. Go take on reality. Go try some stuff. Go get your ass kicked. Get tuned in. Right. It's going to be a lot better doing that before you're 40.
Yeah, because as soon as you start playing an objective game where you're like, I actually have to get numbers working, I actually have to see what is really going on out here, and then you take your worldview and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't fitting. It's like, all right, well, who's movable? What's non-movable?
Right.
Your worldview or reality?
Right.
And then you start getting, okay, smash.
Just want to encourage young people to go out and try stupid shit. God damn it! It feels like becoming an adult was a conscious decision.
Yeah, right.
It was a point in life because it's like we don't have the rite of passages like they used to back in the Indian days or whatever.
Right.
Like you have this, you're 18, it's like it's kind of a rite of passage, but not really.
No, because there's no, like, you're not having to actually accomplish anything or go through the death or the struggle and achieve anything to be like, all right, now I've made it. Now I can handle anything else after this.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of super duper unconscious IJs, like I can, like I knew for the majority of my life, just having to argue a lot to push away things that I didn't like, I didn't agree with, they weren't working, blame. Like you can feel yourself start the bullshit machine.
Yes.
Like it was just a time where later I'm like, you know what, I just give up. Like
it becomes about being right or like actually getting somewhere. And you're like, I've already played this game before. I've already played that tidal wave game before. I want to get off the hamster wheel.
Right. So it's just like, look for little growth spurts in that, little jumps where you're like, you know what, I'm not as aggressive against reality as I was 10 years ago.
Totally. So basically you're saying, like, going back to the choices thing, that you can consciously choose to increase your consciousness.
Ta-da! I swear to God, how many times have I said,
please rage.
Just fucking ignore. I'm trying to do a show here. Get off the blue. Fuck!